Her voice helped shape history, but her name is often left out of it. Rebel with a Cause, Sincerely Yours, Pauli Murray is a powerful new choral work honoring a woman who fought for equality long before it was popular to do so. And joining us today, we have Catherine Roma, who is the musical director of the World House Choir, and we also have Charisse Vernell Santos, who is a featured performer. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate both of you coming in.
Thank you. It's great to be here. Really wonderful.
Yeah, excited to hear about this work as well. So we're going to start off with you, Kathy. So
Okay.
For our friends who are maybe not familiar with who Pauli Murray was, why is her story so important to tell right now?
Well, her groundbreaking contributions to the civil rights laws of this country, they reshaped our nation. And especially for people of color, African-American people, for women, and essentially for all of us. So to give you an example, she was in law school at Howard University in the early 1940s, and she was the only woman, and she graduated first in her class, aside from the other things, and she wrote an essay then, and the essay was used by Thurgood Marshall when he was what should I say, attacking the ideas of Plessy versus Ferguson, you know, separate but equal is equal. And Pauli Murray said, nope. And so Thurgood Marshall used her essay when he was dismantling Plessy versus Ferguson to pass Brown versus the Board of Education in 1954. So that's one thing. She was co-founder of CORE, the Congress of Racial Equality, with Bayard Rustin. She was co-founder of NOW, the National Organization of Women. And then maybe I should go back to 1940 when she sat in the front of the bus in Virginia and refused to give up her seat. She was arrested and fined and jailed 15 years before Rosa Parks.
Wow.
So how come Pauli Murray is not a household name like Rosa Parks or like Harriet Tubman? So we're learning about her. I'm learning about her, and it's been incredible.
Yes, and also uplifting her story through that education as well. And from what I know about this, it does seem like we are getting that educational aspect with the performance piece too. And, you know, is that something that is really important to you as a performer as well?
Absolutely. My job as a performer is to get to the emotional truth of the character. And for someone like Pauli Murray, just reading about her, she feels larger than life. But she has these experiences that all of us experience. She experiences loss. She loses her mom and her dad in a way that is heartbreaking to her for the rest of her life. But she has this love of an aunt that just really emanates throughout everything that she does. She falls in love multiple times. She falls out of love multiple times. And we as the performers, especially me and my co-soloists that are on the project, we are able to really look at different segments of her life and say, this is a human being that really wanted to see equality for all people around her, and she really wanted to discover more about herself at the heart of it. And so bringing that to the stage is just absolutely beautiful, and the music behind it really reaches the heart and talks about something that a lot of people don't hear about now.
Yes, and you are doing something that I find to be unique. You're providing narration.
Yes.
Yes, tell us about that.
So we're providing narration and also singing parts of it. So a lot of it is soliloquies within the music. Some of it is a little bit of history and background to set the atmosphere for where we are. And we go in and out from being a narrator to actually being Pauli or being different characters within her life. So we're allowed to really explore all these people that really impacted her story and really shaped who she really became.
And I know a lot of preparation goes into that. If you're going in and out of different characters and songs and narration, that's so cool. So very cool. And we touched on this briefly, but just speaking on that educational aspect of it, that does seem to be very important to share that story, but then to also just let people know about everything that she accomplished as well.
Right. So, you know, I think when we put stories to music, it changes things. We're able to enter in and participate in a different kind of way, right? Music is, music combines the spoken word, which we all, you know, when we read history or we read about her, it's really important to do. But when we lift up those words and we put them to melody and we put them to exciting rhythms and stuff like that, it gets into us in a different kind of way. We relate to that music and we're able to enter into the situation, I think, in a very different way when we have the musical element added. And the composer, who was lived here for quite some time, Steve Malloy, he's done an incredible job of taking this music, taking her life. We didn't say that Pauli lived from 1910 to 1985. And so in the process of creating these pieces, he takes popular musical genres from the time, and then when he creates the pieces of music that tell her story, he uses those different kinds of music. So he uses ragtime, he uses blues, he uses gospel, he uses classical music, he uses folk music, he uses about every genre you can think of that was popular, and even using some of the music that she loved within this. So you're going to hear all kinds of references to musical theater, to, as I said, ragtime and other genres of music. So it's really brilliant.
Yeah, it is. Very authentic to the time and all of the different eras of her life as well, too. Now, we have to talk about, this is the most important thing, I think, outside of just sharing the story, but it is also affordable because it is free. So when and where is this taking place for folks, and how can they come out and support what you're doing?
All right, well, I'll start. We're doing 2 performances in Yellow Springs on the 7th and the 9th of November. And then in Cincinnati, we're going to perform on Saturday, the 8th at 4 o'clock at the House of Joy Christian Ministries, and that's on Central Parkway. Those of people who know Bishop Todd O'Neill, it's his church, and we're really happy to be there. So that's on Saturday at 4 on the 8th. There also are symposium, and one is happening on November 1st, and that's in Yellow Springs. But prior to the program, the concert on the 8th in November, there's going to be Pastries with Pauli at St. Andrew's Episcopalian Church. And did I even say that in talking about Pauli that she was the first African-American woman to be ordained as a priest in the Episcopalian Church?
No, that's incredible.
I forgot to, that's very important. And she was sainted also in 2018 by the church. So that's a really important part of her life, and she was an Episcopalian throughout. And then when she faced some of the challenges at the end of towards the end of her life, she became a priest. And actually, she came to Cincinnati because the priest at the parish of St. Andrews in the early 1980s invited her to preach. And so she was here actually in Cincinnati in the early 1980s.
Very important work, but it'll also be so much fun and it'll be so great. Well, we really appreciate both of you coming in. Thank you for giving us a nice preview to what people can expect. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.